All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chid from Guna Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. This ain't quite late night with Chid, but I think when Arsenal changed their manager, it's almost it's a big deal. So I guess there are all sorts of things to talk about, and one of those things. So I guess this is an Eagle Eye episode because we're talking about change of manager, but we're also talking about the possibilities of new managers. And one of the things that came out was Brendan Rodgers. So I talked about Allegri and my gut feeling, and I dropped a very, very, very late night video yesterday on why I wasn't as keen on Allegri as I perhaps should be. And don't get me wrong, if Allegri comes in, I'll support him, I'll back him, I'll do what I need to do. But I'm not. To be honest, I don't know why. My gut feeling says I don't think Allegri is the guy we should have or need. Whereas Brendan Rodgers, I have a better feeling on, which is quite a turnaround from 18 months ago. 18 months ago, I was not very keen about the Brendan Rodgers possibility, but my feeling on that, and Omar's just put it in the chat, is, why would Brendan Rodgers leave? Why would they leave? We've just seen Man City draw again. I mean, it's like they've just decided this year we're going to take a break from winning the Premier League. And they've just rolled out the red carpet to Liverpool, which means literally their closest challengers are Leicester right now. And Brendan Rodgers, I think, is more motivated than ever to win a league. But I think what we've all kind of underestimated is no one's talking about taking Brendan Rodgers now. Why not just leave him towards the end of the season? You got to imagine, yes, I realize this will sound stupid, given the fact that Leicester won the league, what was it, 4 years ago? But you would think that they're not going to get a much better chance of winning the Premier League again. Which I know, like I said, I know how stupid that sounds. But when you think about the fact that Vardy's, 31, 32, is a big part of the reason that they are as high as they are. Maddison, I think, is destined for a United move, in my personal opinion. I have my doubts that Sionku will stay at Leicester for very long. And these are all part of big contributions as to why they are as good as they are. And their midfield, don't even get me started on their midfield generally. So, yeah, I think from my own point of view and my own perspective, it's really difficult because there is a lot of choices, but there's no obvious candidates. And thank you, Rabadan. Very happy Liverpool fan donating to the show. Big support of the show. Thank you, my guy. Obviously, a very happy Liverpool fan. God bless Newcastle and Agent Shelby. To me, and in my view, what I'd like to see happen is there's no obvious candidate. I think when Jose was there, I didn't want him, but you could argue he was an obvious candidate. Allegri, probably via his CV, to some people would be an obvious candidate. And listen, if Arsenal go on and hire Allegri, I completely get it. He's not what I would do, but I completely get it. But I've actually decided on what I would do. All I could do is decide on what I want. And if it was up to me, I'd say, provided things are going well with Freddie, let him take it to the end of the season and then hire Brendan Rodgers. That's what I'd do. I'd take him at the end of the season. Because in my view, I think it's going to be between him and Wilder for a Premier League Manager of the Year. Possibly Klopp, to be fair. If Klopp guides Liverpool to a league, it will probably be him. But I think he'll be out of those three. And I think you take their manager, because I think the rest of that team is getting stripped anyway. So you might as well take their manager at the end of the year. Then that way, Brendan won't feel so bad. Arsenal can stump up the money, and I'll come to the story in a second. And I think everyone's happy because don't get me wrong, right? When they asked Brendan about the rumours linking into Arsenal, you could see my man would love to go. It wasn't just because he's just arrived at Leicester. You could see he would love to go. He would love to go because, from my understanding, Arsenal's a club he's always wanted to manage. He's always wanted to manage it. I remember hearing those stories when just before Emery was hired. He's always fancied a club like Arsenal and wanted the challenge of managing them. But if, like Omar said earlier in the chat, given Leicester's position right now, why would you leave that club? It wouldn't make any sense. But the man's ambitious. I like the way. To me, more than anything, forget style of play, football. There's a few reasons why I'd rather Rodgers than Allegri. Now, I know a lot of people say, lots of people, in my view, place far too much stock in winners and tried and tested. Whereas I think someone who is hungry, ambitious, makes players work hard, actually, I have a little bit more value in that. By the way, this is me we're talking about. So you know that I also expect the same from my players. This is why sometimes I'm so harsh on Ozil, because on talent, not many people are touching that boy. If you just talk about his footballing brain, not many people are touching that boy. It's everything else that I can't stand. It's application I can't stand. It's the same reason why many years ago when people were booing Abue, you would have never in my life, I mean, I don't believe in booing players anyway, but it would have never even occurred to me to boo Abue. Just like I never really understood the hatred for Gervinho. Yeah, Gervinho had more style than substance. I get it. I get it to a certain extent. But to be honest, with Abue and Gervinho and players like that, I at least saw players that tried, that put some effort. And I think for me, in terms of managerial style, forget the fact that he has his teams playing attractive football, which he does, which I know you guys like. Me, I couldn't care less for that. I just want a team who's organized, who works hard, and demands the very best from. The one thing I will say for Brendan Rodgers, even when he was at Liverpool, my man makes players work hard. Even average players work hard. And let's be real here. We got a lot of poor to average players on the team. But he gets the very best out of each and every single one of them. I hate to say this. It makes me feel uncomfortable saying this as a son of immigrant parents who came into this country many, many years ago. But let's just call a spade here. He's also an English-speaking manager. Albeit he's from Northern Ireland, he's an English-speaking manager. This, we now know, was a huge detriment to the team that we had someone in Emery who could not effectively communicate with the players. Now, that doesn't mean to say that because Emery had difficulty, Allegri would as well. But it makes life a whole of a lot easier when a manager does speak clear English. And I just think there's something, for me, and this is just perhaps me, and I think this is where, when me and Lee, for example, argue a lot about players and certain things, is because if you notice, if there is a debate about something that is tried and tested and something that is a bit more experimental and open-minded, Lee will go to the tried and tested, I'll go towards the open-minded. It's in our natures, right? Lee likes proven, factual, you must have done that before, facts. And maybe this comes to me liking psychology, and in my job, we have to think about outside of the box. We have to be forward thinking. Not that Lee is not forward thinking. But like I said, like if you think about, for example, his argument about Why is Saka playing games? You know, that type of thing. Whereas I'm actually the opposite. I actually quite like the fact that we're playing youth. Because sometimes don't get me wrong, I agree. I don't know why Pepe is not playing games. But for me, I like the fact that there's a lot of focus on youth. That's why I was so adamantly against Jose, because in my opinion, I don't think he would have that much emphasis in youth. And I think someone like a younger manager, like a Brendan Rodgers, like a Eddie Howe, although even I can accept with Eddie Howe, I think it might be a bit soon for him. I actually think they would be that forward-thinking manager, someone who would look towards the future. And listen, everybody knows my first choice is Rafa, but it seems like Rafa is not even in the consideration. So fine, let me take him out of it. But then when I actually take a step back and properly analyze who it is I actually want, if this Rodgers thing is possible, and I always assumed it wasn't, but if it's possible, and the stories are now talking about, Leicester have gone in 2 days from we're not going to let Arsenal even speak to Brendan Rodgers to now they're saying, well, Arsenal puts together a £14 million package to speak to him, then we'll let him speak to him. 14 million in the grand scheme of things ain't that much. I mean, I know you got to pay the man afterwards. And don't get me wrong, in terms of compensation packages, it's a pretty big package. But in the grand scheme of things, 14 million for a Premier League club, just pay the 14 million. If that's who you've identified and you believe that that's who you want, and so far, since Emery's been sacked, there's been 4 favourites for the job. Supposedly, in some quarters, Arteta's favourite for the job. Then some people believe that Allegri is favourite for the job. Then some people believe that Nuno is favourite for the job. And now today, people are saying actually the board would really prefer an English-speaking manager, and people are very impressed with the job that Brendan Rodgers is doing. It's just like, all right. So clearly, basically, no one knows what the heck is going on. The truest and only truest words Ivan the Weasel ever spoke was, those who know don't speak. So straight up, which I know, I appreciate the irony in me saying that and doing this video. But that, it just shows you that, you know, when you read these papers, sometimes you always have to take each of these stories with a pinch of salt. From my perspective, and I will caveat everything I'm saying with, if this is true, and Leicester say, all right, 14 million, and you could speak to him, pay the 14 million. Because in terms of available, forward-thinking, exciting managers out there, you may as well go for Brendan. And you know what? Even tried and tested Lee would have Brendan Rodgers. And that tells you all you need to know. You know, I think sometimes we place way too much stock, because 18 months ago, all of us were talking bars about, oh, well, you know, Emery has won the league in France, and, you know, he has won 3 Europa League back-to-back titles, and we are in the Europa League, so we shouldn't be arrogant, and we took him on, and we saw how well that turned out. So let's not be arrogant. Let's not turn up our nose. Maybe Brendan Rodgers might be really suitable for this job. But then again, there's another school of theory. Maybe Brendan Rodgers has actually just found his level. Those are what the harsh people would say. You let me know what you think. Let me know. I'm going to do like 10 minutes with you guys before I bounce up out of it, because then I've got prepared to do the preview ahead of tomorrow, Freddie's first game. So let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments below. Sorry, this spotlight is giving me a proper headache. Let me. Oh, I see Lee's in the chat room. Big up to my brother Lee Gunner. Yes, I said Northern. He's English speaking, is what I said, Mr. Gunner. This is one of those ones where you tell me I said something that I say I didn't say, and then it turns out I said it. But big up to you, Lee Gunner. And obviously, that reminds me, don't miss a watch along that we'll be doing tomorrow. I'll be on Sky, so I won't be behind Lee, which I know will please him greatly. 1 o'clock, I think we'll be going live about 12:50. So don't miss that on Lee's channel. G the PT. You can't play youth when you're not producing the product. I think you should have dropped Saka for a bit. No, me too. But I'm not against playing Saka though. I think this is why me and Lee have our debates. Like I was saying, I think sometimes, and this is not a criticism. This is just something I've noticed. When me and Lee have arguments, I say arguments. We don't argue. When we have debates, he'll take the tried and tested route. I'll take the open-minded route. It's just the way we are. There's nothing wrong with that. We just have our styles. And I think that's why I'm leaning more and more towards the Brendan route than I am the Allegri route. Bring back George Graham. Yes, happy birthday, King. Happy birthday, Mr. George Graham. Legend of the club, and in some quarters, the best Arsenal manager there's ever been. I'm disappointed many fans want marbles. Don't get me started. It's a trigger point for me, but I am with you. I am with you. Chig should be the manager. I'll tell you what, I won't need no 6 million. I mean, I'll need paying, but I won't need no 6 million. $11 likes. Only 11 likes. What am I doing wrong? Guys, please do crush that like button. Like Mr. Kong says, please crush that like button. I'd appreciate it if you do it. Oh, is it 2 p.m.? My bad. Don't worry, we'll do an announcement on Insta, and I'll make sure I'll do the same announcement on YouTube, just so you guys know when me and Lee go live. So yeah, apologies. I don't know why I thought it was at 1, but yes, 2 o'clock tomorrow. Brendan Rodgers has a massive ego. He says some baffling things. Let me tell you something. There is no successful manager in the world that doesn't have an ego. If you notice, when I was criticizing what's his name? Allegri yesterday, his ego wasn't the thing I came after. I have no problem with you having an ego. I'm hoping your ego powers you through some difficult decisions. It's just what I don't like about ego is if it makes you stubborn. That's the difference. That's the difference. Wilder and Nuno are my top 2. Yeah, I know you said that, Buster. You really want Wilder. You're like the only person I've ever seen that said that. Big up to you guys. Big up to you. Please do. Oh, I knew I missed a donation. Gary Robertson. Thank you, my bro. That's why I scrolled all the way up. Thank you, my guy. I appreciate the donation. Appreciate the love. And yes, I hope you're good too, man. I hope you're good. I knew I missed one. Apologies. Apologies. But thank you. Leicester and Celtic are his level. Wait a minute. Rewind. Lee, are you now don't want Brendan Rodgers? I've spent the last 10, 15 minutes telling these lot that you do want him. No, I'd have Brendan Rodgers. I would have him. Key's favourite KDB scored a stunner today. Yeah, but it weren't the winning goal. I'll tell you what, City have bottled the league, boy, which I know is hilarious. I would love to be able to say we bottled the league because it would suggest that we were in the running in the first place. I still have him though. And that's my boy. That is Lee in a nutshell, right there. That's my partner in crime right there. No, I caught Rabadans. I caught Rabbis. I always catch Rabbis. I usually catch Gary's as well, but I don't know why. I just missed it. But I saw Rabbis. Shelby's goal was sick. Yeah, it was. It was. By the way, Lee, who is this? who is this? That's what I'm gonna know. I always see him in my chat and your chat, and I'm wondering, who is this? Like, who? What was your name before this? That's what I want to know. Rodgers did amazing to get into that position with Liverpool, even with Klopp, bottled the league last season. Yeah, I think he's doing an amazing job now. Yeah, well, the head of the fan base doesn't always get things right. Very rarely, actually. Lee says Rodgers is a big fish in a small pond. Um, maybe, maybe, maybe. But I think here's the thing, and I think Lee recognizes this. If you want Nuno, I don't want to hear you talking shit about Brendan Rodgers. Because what is Nuno doing that Rodgers isn't? Rodgers is taking Leicester to a next level. All right, me and you can win the Scottish League. So you notice I don't ever mention the Scottish League. But Liverpool, prior to Klopp, no one had even took Liverpool close to a league win. And he got them there. You could argue a lot of the success that they're having, I'm not necessarily saying this is the case, but you could argue a lot of the success they're having was due to infrastructure changes from Brendan Rodgers and stuff. I know Liverpool fans that argue that. So, plus, I've said this before and I'll say this again. I'm gonna time you out because no one's insulting my my people. Then I'm gonna time you out. Yeah, I said this before and I say this again. The main reason I want Brendan Rodgers is for one simple reason. He has a habit of making average players perform beyond their abilities. Look at that Liverpool team that he had. Bar Steven Gerrard, who was really on that team? Who was really on that team that was about this life? And look how close they got to winning the league. Yeah, it should be good, man. Should be good fun. Should be good fun. Wolves are tiny in comparison to Leicester in all ways. Yeah, yeah. But I think from my own personal view, they are the closest challengers, ironically, to Brendan Rodgers' former team. And he's doing absolute bits with them. He's doing bits with them. I think you got to give him his due. And I think if Leicester, I don't think Leicester will win the league because I think Liverpool will. But I think if Leicester finish second, and I actually think I favour them to finish second more than I do Chelsea. If Leicester actually finish second, boy is all I can say. I mean, what an achievement that would be to say that you finished above Man City. Who would have put money on that? No one would have put money on that. Especially with Pep in charge of Man City. I am doing a watch along tomorrow. I'm doing a watch along with Lee tomorrow. We usually come on we always try and come on about 15 minutes before the game. And then some type of technical bullshit happens. And Lee tends to come on about 10 minutes before, and then I usually come on 5 minutes after. But we'll both be on, I promise. We'll both, one way or another, we'll both be on. Lee, I see you got a lot of your fans in here. Goodness gracious. Just had to time one geezer out because he was calling you names. Leicester are such a good team. We need to sign a lot of them. And there you go. Who knows? If you get Brendan Rodgers, people are talking about, oh, well, if we get Nuno, we might get Neves. I'm not really sure how the two have a correlation other than he plays under Nuno, but that doesn't necessarily mean that, Neves wants to make the same steps. But okay, let's use that logic. Well, using that logic, if Brendan Rodgers comes to Arsenal, we may have a chance of getting some of that midfield. Lord knows we need them. People like Ndidi and Maddison, because I wouldn't mind another number 10, to be honest. And I think Maddison could do something. Yeah, I will say this. I wouldn't say they're your biggest fans, but they're your most loyal for sure. I do agree with your sentence when you say that. Because, my gosh, even I don't watch you as much as these guys watch you. And I'm being very literal when I say that. Mr. Wilson, I hope you're good. All right, easy. Let's just time you out and let's just time you out here before you get carried away. Chig, I think you should. I think we should keep Ceballos. Do you think we should keep Ceballos? I don't think we should. He's done little. On current form, no, I don't think we should keep him. But I think a lot of these players, like a Ceballos, like a Pepe, even though I still don't rate him, but even a Luis to a certain extent, I'm prepared to see again under another manager. Because who knows, it could be the manager. So I'm prepared to see them again. But if I had to make a decision now, no, I wouldn't. Yep, I agree Kai Havertz would be perfect, but we have little to no chance of getting Kai Havertz. They still come back. Massive fans is the reality. I'm mortified that one clown unsubbed. I won't sleep, you mouth. This is how you make friends right here. This right here is how you make friends. Can't think why you're so unliked. You melt. He always uses old school English words. I ain't heard it ages. Like you melt. You melt. The only con with Allegri is that he doesn't speak English. But I've heard he's taking lessons. Yeah, so was Emery. So was Emery. I'm just putting it out there. So was Emery. Louise was masked by Chelsea. Brother, I've been saying that. Whenever people tried to justify that David Luiz was a good defender, I was like, no. As much as I hated him, Terry was the good defender, and he was the organizer next to David Luiz. That was how David Luiz got a career. Not because David Luiz was good. David Luiz could lace a ball. That's basically how he got a career. John Terry and the fact that he could lace a ball from far. Other than that, the man is crap. I don't care what anyone tells me. He's been crap. And, you know, the best story I've heard about this Emery thing all along, and I read this story today, was that supposedly one of the last straws was one of Emery's assistants and David Luiz got into a row because this assistant was trying to teach David Luiz how to defend. And David Luiz felt that this guy was talking down to him, so he pushed back. And I read this story and I'm thinking, to be fair, good on that assistant, because you wouldn't know it watching David Luiz that he knows how to defend. So that's not talking down to you, bruh. Mate, you clearly need help with this. So why don't you pay attention and listen? It was probably the best story I'd seen. I'd be like, all right, fair play to Emery on that one. It didn't work, but fair play. If only, right? If only. If only. All right, guys. I'm going to head up out of here. It's 3:15. Please do stick a like on this video. I'll be back League goes live at 5. So I'll be back at around 5:30 to do a preview of the game. Please do stick a like on this video. Crush this video. I'll be doing my starting lineup, my predictions for that video. And it's Freddie's first game. So I'm not really sure what to do. Should I do my lineup and then Freddie's? I'll just do my lineup and I'll talk what I think Freddie might do. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what Freddie does in this first game. So yes, please do stick a like on this video. Thank you, Lee, for actually joining the chat room. As per usual, shaking the shit out of it, shaking it up considerably. I've only timed out 2 people, so that must be a record low. But yeah, do hit that subscribe button, and I'll be back in about 2 hours' time. All right, people. I'm out of here. Take care. Peace.